Welcome to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. And now your host, me, Shane Lakita. Good morning, folks. It is early in the morning. It is freezing cold. It's about 12 degrees up here in Maine with a 0-degree wind chill. But I have a feeling today that it's going to be a great day. I have a feeling today that I'm going to be able to accomplish whatever I set my mind to. I think one of the reasons is because when I can wake up and I can see sunshine coming through or rising up and see blue skies. Now, whether it's cold or it's warm, either way, I have to look at the positive side of it and see blue skies out there and it's rising and it's going to be a great day today. You ever have those days where you wake up and you just feel like you can conquer the world? I'm not at that level right now. But I am at a point where I feel really good about how the day is going to go. I had a good day yesterday, and I'm going to have a good day today. And I think that as we can bridge those and keep on continually moving that forward and have good days after good days after good days, and that's going to be the theme of the podcast today as we get into it. But I just wanted to reach out to you guys to talk to you a little bit about some other stuff along with the podcast. So basically, if you want to, you can actually see, I actually opened up today with our Instagram TV, IGTV, with a little introductory post for anybody that wants to be able to learn about the podcast, to be able to join the podcast and subscribe to it or anything like that. So first of all, thank you so much for all of you that do subscribe, that listen to me all the time and put stuff together to be able to share your thoughts and share your insights with me. And I'm appreciative of all of the feedback that I get from you and all of the communication that I get from you and all of us talking together and just be able to do some really great things to be able to push this thing forward. If you do want to reach out to me and you want to reach out to me via email, you can reach me at liquidshano1973@gmail.com is one of the forms of communication. But there's other ways to go about it also. You can go onto my Instagram page, message me there. You can go onto my Facebook page and message me there. So either way, if you wanted to talk about the content of the podcast or you just wanted to give some feedback or some things that you wanted to be able to see as we grow and we move in this space, this podcast is not just about me on a microphone talking to you guys, but it's about us as a community and us working together towards doing great things and becoming great together. All of us are in this journey together and we need to share with each other and we need to lift each other up and hold each other accountable and be able to move it forward. With that being said, I also wanted to give a shout out today. As last podcast, you guys had heard me talk about how I started a Patreon account, www.patreon.com/liquidcoffeetalk. And basically what I did is I set this page up so that way I don't have to go down the road of having advertisements and right in the middle of my podcast, break it out with people trying to sponsor and things like that at first, right? So I wanted to be able to make it sure that it's still user-friendly for you guys, that I don't have to go down the road of doing that kind of thing to be able to pay for a lot of the things with the podcast, such as equipment or rental fees for different podcast hostings or going to different places. So I set up the Patreon, which is a great way for artists to be able to set something up for people that follow or people that are patrons to be able to donate, whether it's monthly or whether it's one-time fees or things like that, to be able to donate to the cause and be able to give to the podcast or artwork or whatever it is. Musicians do it a lot of times too. And so what we do is we set this thing up and then basically patrons can go in there and sign up as a patron, and you can go at 3 different tier levels and you can sign up to receive different things like some swag or some coffee mug or shirts or anything like that to be able to sign up for. You get some bennies that come back to you for being a patron, but also it's just a way for you to be able to give to the podcast so that way we can continue to move forward and grow and elevate our performance in this podcast. I want to be better and better for you guys and the quality of the sound. I want to be better and better for you guys for the quality of the content and everything. And I can't really do that if I'm not able to move down the road of improving myself. And a lot of times with me having a full-time job and then me doing this on the side, it really hinders with the fact that it costs money to be able to do that kind of stuff. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you are interested, like I said, it's at www.patreon.com/liquidcoffeetalk. And you can go on there and you can become a Coffee Talk patron as well. So I appreciate it. The last one, Kathy Cunningham, I really appreciate your latest pledge that you were on there. You are newest member of the patron membership committee, I guess you could call it, where you guys are on there and you're helping to donate to the cause. So I'm truly appreciative of everything, and I'm appreciative of every single one of you guys. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started with the podcast. Okay, so here we are, and I'm talking about, as we know on this podcast, ways to be better, ways to continue to move forward, my journey and where I'm at with my mindset and where I'm going and how I want to be in a more positive space, and I want to be able to be successful. And then I use this forum and this platform to be able to talk to each one of you guys and gals for us to sit down and just discuss how to be better and how to be able to navigate this journey, because this journey can be crazy, it can be detrimental, it can be emotional, it can be all kinds of different things, many different words you can use to describe this journey. Some days are better than others. Like I said, I woke up today, blue skies, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great day. And then there's other days where even if it is blue skies, it still feels like it's gray skies. I feel like the sky's falling, or I feel like, life is just dealing me some really bad cards and all those things. So here we are, we're in this journey together, and I just wanted to talk about something that I felt like it really resonated with me today. I was scouring through the internet looking for different things to chat about or to write about on the blog or on the post. And many of you might have already seen on the Instagram and on Facebook on our No Finish Line Nation page, I'd already posted the Coffee Talk to basically state, let's make today better than yesterday. It's very simple. It's a simple gesture to be able to look into it and to be able to improve on our skill sets and improve on the things that we are working on to just be better than we were yesterday. Now, I've had many conversations in the past, and I've sat down and we've talked about this kind of thing before. And I always discuss, if you can push yourself a little bit more and go for better things and bigger things the next day or whatever it is to be able to improve on yourself, that's great. It's all fine in the grand scheme of things. But a lot of times it's impossible. Or it feels like it's impossible. It feels like it's Mount Everest when you think to yourself, well, I had a really good day yesterday. How am I going to top that? Or I had a really elevated performance, or I lost the most weight that I've lost, or I've increased on my run or improved on my weightlifting, or whatever it is that you're trying to be able to accomplish. And you accomplished great things the day before. And then today you're looking at yourself going, how can I do that again? Like, seriously, you want me to do that again and then plus some? And so the concept of it is really just to be able to dig in and do better than yesterday and continue to push your limits. It doesn't mean that you have to overcome that. So let me share a couple thoughts here. So when I shared the post of be better than you were yesterday, it doesn't mean anything huge, grandiose, large, and just this huge amount of change or positive momentum that you have to do. What it means is that if you can just improve a little bit, a really small amount, to be able to go from where you were yesterday to where you are today, then that's a success, and that's a win, and that's a victory, even if it's minuscule. Or, to be honest with you, even if it's maintaining, and you are at the same level that you were yesterday, but you're still working hard, but you stayed right where you were. That's still a victory. That's still something you can celebrate. That's something you can park in to be able to say, I was a rock star today. I did a great job. I worked hard at that, and I overcome adversity to be able to go down the road and do that. So the small things that we're talking about here, the small little things that you can do, let me give you a few examples. So let's say yesterday you decided you're going to go for a step challenge. You were going to say to yourself, I'm going to go down the road of getting a certain amount of steps in. So maybe it was 5,000 steps. So maybe you were going to look at yourself and say, I'm going to get 5,000 steps in today, and you do it and you bust it out and you feel good about yourself and you are cheering for yourself and you're giving yourself that momentum and saying, yes, I'm good to go. Now, being better than what you were yesterday, today, doesn't mean you have to get 7,000, 10,000, 15,000 steps and keep moving towards and comparing yourself to other people as you're in these groups and you're trying to work towards steps or whatever it is that you're working on. No, the next day, maybe you only get 100 more steps. Maybe you only get 5 more steps. But you keep pushing yourself to be better than what you were yesterday, just a little bit. And the concept of that is, instead of trying to look at these goals of maybe you wanted to eventually down the road get to 15,000 or 20,000 steps in a day, and that's your goal, that's your aspiration, and you go from the 5,000, you hit the 5,000, you celebrate in that, and then you automatically try to go for the 20,000. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. Because if I can do the 5,000 and that felt pretty good, I'm going to get to the 20,000. I'm going to get there. And you're all in and you're full bore and you're balls to the wall and you're guns blazing and you're running towards the goal and you're trying to go towards the 20,000. And maybe you get there and maybe you get to the 20,000 and then your body is aching and you're hurting and you're just like, oh my goodness, I pushed myself way too far. And then you have the 3-day lag where you're just like sitting back going, my body hurts, my body aches, my legs hurt, my back hurts, everything hurts about me. All this stuff is happening and it's not feeling good. And then you go 3 more days where you're just like, I can't get back up there and do it again because my body was too painful about where I was at right now because you pushed yourself too hard and you really gave yourself unattainable goals at this time. And so the 5,000 to go from 5,000 to 20,000 is a huge push and it's not sustainable. It's not something that you can literally say to yourself, I'm going to need to work myself up to that point. As many runners will tell you and many different people will tell you, if you go incrementally into getting to where your goals are and you keep pushing yourself one step after the next, you're going to eventually be able to hit your goal without you even knowing it. So it's the same exact concept. So if you went 5,000 steps and you wanted to hit the 20,000 steps, give yourself a realistic goal and know that it's going to be further out than tomorrow to be able to hit the 20,000 steps. And go for 5,500 today. Instead of 5,000, go for 5,500. Small incremental goals. And then the next day, after you hit the 5,500 and you're like, okay, I feel really good about that, then go for 6,000. It's small, bite-sized, incremental goals to be able to string together. So let's just talk about the mindset during all this when it's happening. So here you are, you hit your 5,000, you feel good about yourself. You feel like you are in a space where you are feeling good, you feel like you're confident, you feel like you can achieve things, you're feeling like you're in a really good place. And the next day you hit 5,500 and guess what? You're going to feel like that again. I feel good. Okay, yeah, you know what? That was achievable. I didn't feel like I overdid it. I didn't overexert myself, but I pushed myself to be better than what I was yesterday. I hit 5,500 today. I feel really good. I feel confident. I feel good about that space. And then the next day you hit 5,750. And so you beat your yesterday's score, maybe not by the 500 mark, but you did it by 250. But you still beat what you did yesterday by a small incremental amount. And you pushed forward and you dug in and you found the time necessary for you to be able to do it. And you feel good and you feel confident and you feel like you are a champion at that moment in time. And so all these things are going on. You got all these, as the days progress, what you're doing is you're stringing these days together. And so when you have a victory after victory on day number 1, and then victory day number 2, and then victory day number 3, and you take the day off, and then maybe on the 5th day, you go out and you do a little bit more, and you keep pushing yourself, and you keep pushing yourself, and you're stringing these victories along without you even knowing that you're building up towards that eventual goal of 25,000 steps that you want to hit, or 20,000 steps that you want to hit. So when you're going through all this, you're looking at yourself going, it seems like it's such a monumental task and it seems like it's such a big thing to be able to try to accomplish. And it's so overwhelming and it's daunting and it's not sustainable. I'm going to be injured. I'm not feeling that great. I've done it before. I've fallen down. I've had to pick myself back up. I don't want to be in that space again. All those little excuses that you run into are based on maybe previous experiences or being afraid or scared or any of those things. When at the end of the day, all you have to do is incrementally build off of what you did yesterday. And let's just say you fail. So let's say you had 5,000 steps the first day and you wanted to be able to be a little bit better and you only had 3,750 the next day. Okay, so this is where the brain work comes in. This is where I struggle. This is my journey where I get into the place where if I don't have as good of a day and I'm not pushing forward to being a little bit better today than I was yesterday, or I tried to, and I failed. Or I tried to, and I didn't get to the place that I wanted to get to. Am I a failure for that? Should I beat myself up and live in this space of negativity because I couldn't get to where I was going? No, what I should do is say, guess what I did do? I did try. I did give the attempt to be able to keep pushing forward, but maybe time got the best of me. And maybe I was in the car a little bit longer today, or maybe I was traveling for my job a little bit more, or maybe I had games to go to for my son as he was playing football or baseball, and I had to sit down for most of the whole entire day to watch tournaments. Whatever it is that comes into play, maybe something got in the way. Am I a failure? No. Because guess what I did? Maybe on the 5,000 step day, I achieved my goal. In the 5,500 day, I achieved my goal. 5,750, I achieved my goal. And then on that other day, I didn't achieve my goal of being a little bit better than what I was yesterday. And then all of a sudden, I'm in this space of looking at myself going, I'm such a failure. I'm somebody that, well, I mean, what the hell am I doing? Like, seriously, like all I ever do is I get to this point where I feel like I'm pretty good in the space that I'm in. And then I fail and I fall off. And then I start feeling down about myself and I start feeling depressed or whatever else that goes on. This is where the brain work happens, where you've got to look at yourself and say, damn it, think about 5,000 and 5,500 and 5,750 and how hard I've been working and how good I've been doing and the momentum that I've been building. One day is not going to ruin my whole entire journey. One downfall is not going to make me a failure. One moment in time is not going to cause me to be somebody that is not worth something, because I'm worth something. And I can continue to keep pushing forward. And I can continue to be great at what I'm doing, even if it's small incremental amounts. You know, a lot of times we talk about patience. We talk about being able to go out there and make things happen. So let's say, for instance, back in the day when I was a big time lifter and I was in the Navy and I was trying to be able to power lift and all kinds of other stuff and really get into it and this, that, and the other. And I wasn't seeing the gains that I wanted to be able to see with muscles wise at the pace that I wanted to. Or I wasn't seeing the momentum as fast as I wanted it to happen. And mental side of everything kicked in. My brain kicked in where I was thinking to myself, what's wrong with you? Why can't you do what Joe Schmo over here is doing? Or why can't you get to where you have to get to? I'm busting my rump getting there and things aren't working. They're just not going the right way. And at the end of the day, I was still trying to get healthy. At the end of the day, I was still exercising. I was still doing the right things. Maybe the scale didn't show it, or maybe the gains didn't show it in the mirror, or maybe whatever it was at that moment in time that I was trying to be able to measure my quantity of growth that I was trying to look for wasn't necessarily where I needed it to be. But there were other ways that I could look at to say, yeah, you know what? You are doing the right things. You just have to stay patient and consistent. Now, how many on this podcast are listening to me that can relate to me, if you can, raise your hand, in saying that you aren't patient? You're not patient with your journey. You're not patient with the levels of the things you wanted to accomplish. If you wanted to climb mountains, you're not patient with the fact that you have to work your way into that mode. If you wanted to lose a whole bunch of weight, if you had 150 pounds to lose and you want to lose it and then you only lost like 2 pounds, or maybe you only lost like 6 pounds over the last 3 months and you're frustrated because you're like, I have a lot of weight to go. I'm not patient to getting there. I'm really frustrated. Or patience can come in many different forms. Maybe you want your kid to grow up a little bit faster so you can have conversations with them, right? And then you're sitting there trying to root for him to get to the point where he's going to get to, where you can have these long dialogue conversations. And we're not patient to just live in the moment and be in the space that we're in and embrace it and just go down the road of going, okay, you know what? I need to embrace this moment and be who I am, and not be so impatient about the fact that I want to be better or want to be somebody else or do something different. Just take it day by day. Small incremental goals. Little things will lead to big things. I think I posted, right after I posted it on Instagram, the post this morning about being better than what you were yesterday. Somebody had mentioned this is really powerful and it's the secret to everything. It's the secret to weight loss. It's the secret to everything. And when we can think this way and we can get in this mindset, the journey makes it so much easier. And I said to them, the little bites that you take, the little tiny little incremental bites that you take today can lead towards great success later. The key to it is your timeline may have to be extended a little bit, because you're working the program, you're working your plan, you're working your goals and your destination that you want to get to, but you can't fast track it. There's no secret magic bullet. There's no magic pill that you can take to be able to just make you successful at everything that you want to do. Yeah, sometimes you can win the lottery, but you know what happens to a lot of people that win the lottery? They're not financially sound, and they don't really know a lot about money, and they don't know how to make investments. They don't know how to do different things. And guess what they do? They end up blowing all their money because they spend it all, instead of investing and making sure that you can set yourself up for the future and your family up for the future and all those things. It's party time. You go do your thing, and now you're out of money like 5-6 years later when you could have had some really, really great things to happen. But that's what happens when you shotgun success. When somebody loses weight really fast, now I'm not taking anything away against anybody that loses weight really quickly, because a lot of people, it's happened to people, not me, but this happened to a lot of folks that I know, or in this space that I'm playing in, where I've met a lot of people that have lost weight. Some people have lost weight really quickly, so I'm not taking anything against them. But a lot of people that lose weight quickly, like back in the day when I lost weight quickly when I was low carbon, and I pretty much removed all carbs from my diet, and I lost a lot of weight really quick. And I was like, man, I'm feeling good about myself. I'm feeling, these pants are nice and slim and trim, and I'm good to go. And I'm on a fast track, and I'm losing crazy amounts of weight every single week, and I was moving the right direction. And the second that I put a piece of bread in my mouth, I probably put on 20 pounds. And so I didn't know, and I didn't understand the concept of making this a lifestyle and learning how to live with this and be able to make sustainable long-term goals for myself to be able to do this, and not incrementally get there, to learn the skill sets that I need to be able to maintain when I do get there. So that's the theme of this podcast. If you're on the other end here and you're listening to me and you are impatient, or you are frustrated by the fact that you're not getting to where you want to get to, whether it's weight loss, whether it's goals set with running, whether it's the way you look in the mirror, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to strive for, just remember, it's not going to get there overnight, and you've got to go small, incremental goals. Learn your body, learn what you're doing, and get your mindset in the right direction to know that everything that you're doing with those small incremental pieces that you're trying to be able to accomplish, those small little victories you're gaining, are nothing but learning opportunities for you to push forward. They're nothing but learning opportunities for you to become a better version of yourself, so that way you are prepared for when you finally do get to that goal set that you're there. Now the journey changes to maintenance, and changing to being able to maintain and be able to push forward and live at that space. But you've already trained yourself during those small incremental moments that you've had to be able to prepare yourself for that time frame when you do get there. Okay? So remember, today, just be a little bit better. It doesn't take a lot. A small amount of success more than what you had yesterday will lead to another one, will lead to another one, and will lead to another one. And by the end of all of these small little incremental victories, the small little improvements that you have in your life and your journey and everything you're doing, is only going to lead to great things down the road. Just remember that today, because it's tough sometimes. And life deals you all kinds of bad cards. It does. It deals you stuff like bad news, or friends turn on you, or whatever you've got going on. You got all kinds of stuff that happens. And when you're doing this, and when you're living in this space of life, it's really hard to stay positive during this whole time, isn't it? I mean, I know it's really difficult every day to put a smile on your face, to know that you can accomplish great things every single day. I try to tell myself that, and I try to talk to you guys on that with the podcasts or the blogs. I try to do that, be able to get myself in the right mindset, but I'm human. And this is the journey that we're living in. And the space that we're living in is life. And when life happens, you have to be able to navigate it and be able to find some of the little nuggets of positivity to be able to keep you moving forward and keep you hungry enough that you can keep going, because you're worth it. You've got to make sure that you prioritize yourself for that, and you're worth the investment in time and energy for you to create those incremental small goals, for you to go out and accomplish great, great things, and just be patient with it. And just know that, okay, sometimes we feel like the clock is ticking and we got to keep on moving forward, or we got a wedding to get to, or we got an event to get to. Like I've got an event out in Arizona in May, and I want to be able to be at a certain level for myself to be able to feel comfortable with where I'm at and how I present myself and all that stuff. I get all that. But I can't set unrealistic goals and just think that I'm going to snap my finger like that, and all of a sudden I'm there, and all my weight's lost, or I'm feeling slim and trim, or I'm built and I'm ready to go. It just doesn't happen that way. You know that. I know that. We want it to happen that way. I'd love a push of a button fix to be able to go do those kind of things, but it doesn't happen. So I've got to be realistic, and I've got to be open and honest with myself to know it takes work, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes patience. And we can do this together, all of us. And if you're in maintenance and you're at that place where you're just trying to learn the new navigation, the new journey that you're in after you've already lost all the weight or you've already gained the muscle that you really wanted to be able to push for. You feel really comfortable with where you're at. Now your journey starts differently, and your incremental better can be made in different versions. No longer are you looking to lose pounds every single day. Now what you're doing is, I want to make sure that I eat healthy, and I eat a little bit healthier today than I did yesterday. Or maybe I track my food, or I prep my food all week, and I'm making sure that I'm parking right there, and I'm doing that every single day. And if I stay on track with the things that I want to eat and the things that I want to do, that's better than what I did yesterday. Or I can maintain the same exact thing that I did yesterday that works for me. It's all in the mind. It's all in this cranium up here of just bat wings and monkeys and all kinds of stuff running around. That's just like, what is happening right now? This is the space that we live in. And this is the mind that we all have. We're all given one. And we just got to learn how to live with it. And we got to learn how to be able to navigate it and be able to give ourselves some positive reinforcement towards achieving great things, okay? So everybody today, remember, be just small amounts of better today than you were yesterday. And then you string those together, and we're all going to achieve some great things in the long run, okay? Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973 podcast. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms at Liquidshano 1973. And if you could do us a favor, pop on over to iTunes and show us some love and leave some feedback there for us. Talk later.